Hi, everybody. Welcome to the year 2024, where nothing of any political significance happened recently, and we're all very happy about it. My voice, I've been sick for a couple of months. People who've been watching the podcast already know that. So this is the best my voice is going to be. But we are going to talk about fictional horrors instead of actual horrors. Kim, anything you want to talk about that happened in the last year?
Oh, we got married.
Yeah, we got married. Whatever. Not a big deal. The divorce is incoming. Don't worry. So this year we watched a bunch of horror movies, and we're going to tell you about them. Same as every year. And then we'll talk about the horror movies we're going to watch next year, and we'll talk about our ratings, what we thought about the movies pretty briefly, and whether we recommend them or not. So this year we started off watching The Great Pumpkin. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I've been wanting to watch this movie for a while. I didn't really grow up with Charlie Brown. I grew up with it enough to know references to it and know characters, and obviously everybody knows Snoopy. And the football gag with Charlie and Lucy. But besides that, I didn't really know a lot. Did you grow up with Charlie Brown at all?
I didn't really grow up with Charlie Brown. Yeah. I don't really care for it, but it's a cute animation. Yeah,
it's really of its time. It's cute, but Kim and I didn't get a ton out of it. I was so charmed by it that I gave it a 4 out of 5, but Kim was just kind of on it. It was okay. It's not even really a movie, which we didn't realize until we were about to watch it and looked at the running time. But it's I want to say 30 minutes, or it's like a TV special or something like that. Obviously it's a classic. It's not scary. Putting this under a horror movie is maybe a bit much, but
well, it's good to start with.
Right. It was a nice little start. I think in the past few years we've made it a habit to start with more family friendly, easy going movies, just to kind of, ease our way into scary movies down the line. Again, apologies about my voice. It's just going to be like this.
What was our next movie?
Our next movie was Son of Frankenstein.
Nah.
Thank you, Kim. This was more of this felt like a contractual obligation to me, because we'd watched the original. If you go back to our video about that, we weren't very positive, but yeah.
I just feel like they're boring.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like this felt like the least boring one, just because...
Yeah, me too.
The plot felt really easy to follow. We loved that kid. I forget what the kid's name was, but he was so funny.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember his name either.
I remember that laughing too.
Yeah, he was super funny, and he was the highlight of the film. I don't remember what his name was, and I'm actually looking it up right now. I hate that my voice is failing me. Peter, played by Donnie Dunnigan. But yeah, he was great. He was super funny. The plot was easy to follow. I felt like it really built up on the other two movies. That said, it wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't great. I felt like it wrapped up everything in a neat little bow for the trilogy, but I mean, I've never been particularly impressed by this. Mostly I liked Peter, and I liked that they had callbacks to the first two films. But yeah, this was kind of contractual obligation. We had watched the first two. I just wanted to see if it got any better, and it did, but not by that much.
Yeah. I have no interest in any of the Frankenstein movies, so that's just my input there.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks for the input. But yeah, we both agree Peter was great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very funny. I think he had a line or something about his aunt looking like a moose or something like that, or it was so out of pocket. It was very funny. The next movie we watched was also very old school, was Nosfaratutu. This was boring.
Oh, yeah.
Another old movie that I don't like. I really wish the whole point of Kim and I watching these old movies is to appreciate where horror movies came from and how far they've come. But mostly it just makes me realize how boring old school black and white films are. They're not paced very well for a modern audience, which is understandable. It was 100 years ago now. But it just really goes to show tastes have really changed. I mean, I'm 30 years old and I still can't really enjoy any of these movies. I can't imagine anyone from Gen Alpha or what's between Millennial and Gen Alpha?
Gen Z.
Gen Z. I can't imagine any Gen Zer or anybody even being able to put up with these movies. I think they're paced so poorly. Sure, the writing and the dialogue's good and the cinematography's good, but it just, I don't know. It just feels so dragged down. And Nosferatu was the same. Man, was there anything good about this film?
I don't remember there being anything. It was just so boring and slow. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it's so old, there's literally no talking at all.
What did I rate it?
We gave it we both gave the Son of Frankenstein a 3.5. Nosferatu, we gave, which you can find on YouTube for free if you want to, I don't know, waste a couple hours. I gave it a 2 just because I try to be nice to older films and I appreciate, like, what they did for the genre. And Kim gave it, like, a 1.5. I will say the only good thing about this movie was the Nosferatu character himself played very well, and the makeup was very impressive for its time. I was very struck by that. But that was it, really.
I'm looking for the new one that's coming out.
Yes, the new one, which is going to be done by the guy who directed The Witch. I forget his name, but he is going to be directing that one. What's his name? We even watched The Lighthouse, so I should know his name. Robert Eggers. All right, next movie. Addam's Family Values.
Always good. Always good.
Yes. We liked the first Addam's Family movie quite a bit. We talked about it last year. We thought it was great. But this one was excellent. This has the iconic scene where Wednesday and some of her friends that she meets at a camp dress up as Native Americans and burn down the camp. It's just tremendous. There's so many good one-liners. There's so many good, like, little verbal jabs. There's so many good criticisms of society in this film. Yeah, I don't know, Kim.
There's the one I was looking forward to the most. Because I last time I saw it I was like probably like 11 or 12 or something.
Yeah. Been a few years since then.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously.
But yeah, so, and I've never seen the film. Or at least if I have, I don't really remember. So I was probably of similar age if I did see it. The movie was excellent. Christina Ricci, is that her name? Ricci? Yeah. She plays Wednesday. She was so beyond her years in that role.
And Angelica Huston was great too.
And yes, Morticia and, of course, Gomez. Honestly, I think this franchise could have gotten even bigger if, unfortunately, Gomez's actor hadn't passed away from cancer. It's such a good movie. I mean, it's funny. It's thoughtful. It's a very 90s plot. Someone's getting married for someone else's money, and you've got to stop the wedding. But it turns that on its head and, like, subverts a bunch of expectations that you might have. I just thought it was a blast. And it's a real shame that they never were able to, or they still haven't really made a follow-up to this. Obviously, again, because Gomez's actor passed away.
But they did make Wednesday.
Yes, they did.
TV show.
Right. So.
Which.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I've heard mixed things.
I watched it till the very last episode.
Yeah, you never finished it, right?
Yeah, I think I will. I don't know.
But it's made Wednesday into this, like, horror icon, mostly because of Jenna Ortega. I forget. I don't know what it got rated. I'm trying to see it on Rotten Tomatoes. But yeah, I've never seen it. I did see some of Sabrina back when that came out. Kim and I watched some of it together. I got 73 and 85, which is pretty respectable. But yeah, so that's us on Addam's Family Values. Mostly when I think about family values, I think about the Korn produced, the nu metal band festival that they produce with a bunch of, like, other weird nu metal acts. But anyway. The next one, we both gave it a 4.5. The next one was The Craft. This is
my love.
Yeah, I thought it was your love.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's not a love, I guess. I mean,
it's more like
a really good movie to me.
Right. Well, you only gave it a 3.5, so clearly it's not really good.
Well, it's okay. I mean, I just have seen it many times, you know?
Sure. I mean, I've seen Spaceballs many times, and it doesn't hit like it used to. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, The Craft was okay. It does 90s feminism better than a lot of other 90s feminist movies did. I mean, it includes racism, which is a good topic of conversation because I mean, a lot of movies just don't do that with their feminism, unfortunately. So that was really welcomed. I liked that aspect of it. I just felt like things happened because they happened, and then the next thing happened because I don't know. To me, there was no big revelations. There was no big character moments. I felt like a lot of the actors being young here really felt pronounced in their acting skills. Generally speaking, I think towards the end there's some strong performances, especially from I can't remember the main antagonist, whatever her name is.
Natalie?
Yeah, maybe Natalie. But there's some heavy topics in this game in this movie too that I feel like are decently addressed. You could definitely write a good essay about like the themes of feminism throughout this film. But yeah, I mean, definitely held back by its time, its budget for special effects. But anyway, Kim, why'd you choose it?
Well, I chose this I really wanted it last year too, but I love witches, and I've been to the Salem Mass, and my mom went to school there, and I just thought it was pretty like relevant, and
your mom also has a cat named Salem.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
And what else is there to say? I think all the characters are I thought they were well written because, like the climax pretty much is when they all get what they wanted from, what's the name of it, Monroe?
I don't know, some made up Wiccan god. They did have somebody consult on the film who was Wiccan, which I thought was cool. Yep. But I don't remember the god's name.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, it's made up for the film, so I don't think it's a big deal. But I mean, there's a god they all, pray to, or not pray to, but like
they all get what they want.
Yeah, do all rituals and stuff too.
Next.
I thought it was okay. Kim thought it was good. Evil Dead 2.
This movie, oh my goodness.
Yeah, this was Kim's first time seeing Evil Dead 2. I didn't want her to watch Evil Dead 1 because of that infamous tree scene. I didn't want to rewatch the infamous tree scene either. So I decided that we would just do Evil Dead 2, and then maybe next year we'll do Evil Dead 3. Actually, I forgot to put that on my list. So I'll put that in leftovers. Yeah, I thought this was a really great film. It is held back by some pacing issues and some CG issues. Obviously this movie was made in the 80s. Definitely held back by its budget and, the time, how much technology they had to work with. But, I mean, you just can't beat Bruce Campbell in that role. He's just so charismatic. He's got kind of a dude bro vibe, but he's not so bro-y that, like, you feel disconnected from him, I think. I think he strikes that good balance between, like, he's suave and kind of a douche, but like you can believe like why, like someone would find him attractive or why he was used, in that role. Yeah, I really like this movie. It takes a lot of big twists and turns, a lot of big swings. The movie doesn't even end in like a satisfying way necessarily. It ends in a setup for the third film, which is pretty audacious for, an upcoming indie filmmaker. But which Sam Raimi was still at the time. But yeah, Kim, anything jump out at you at this film?
I really liked the costumes and like the effort they put into the person that was in the basement.
Yes.
Well, could you call them a person? Were they like a zombie or?
They were like possessed. I don't know, demonically possessed. I had a jump scare at one point with that, but I like the characters and I just think they played the part really well. Yeah, the dialogue's whip smart, of course. It's just a funny movie. It's a well-done movie. Again, there are some pacing issues, technological issues, but even putting that aside, it still holds up really well, which is, awesome given, it's not getting any younger as a movie at this point. But yeah.
I'd watch it again.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.25, and Kim gave it a 4. All right, this next movie is incredible. I think Kim and I are both going to try to say as little about it as possible, ironically, just because spoilers, and we just want you to go in as blind as possible. I did not expect The Menu to be my favorite movie of the year, and possibly one of my favorite horror movies ever. You could argue it's not a horror movie, but I think some of the things that happen in it are genuinely horrific. The themes are horrific. What happens in the film is horrifying. there's nobody in a mask running around stabbing people, and there's not a whole bunch of gore. It's not a traditional horror movie in that sense, but I just think it knocks everything it tries to do out of the park. I feel like I was, gripping my hands, my palm, my feet were like all curled up. Like this was a tense, stressful film, is what I'm trying to say.
I really like her name's Anya.
Yeah,
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. We watched her in The Witch.
She was great in that too.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
But she's just definitely great in this movie. Was it Nicholas something?
Holt?
I think that's his name.
Yeah, Holt.
He was in Warm Bodies, remember?
Yeah, and he's also in that movie with Nicolas Cage where Nicolas Cage is basically Dracula.
Oh yeah.
It just came out
I haven't
this
seen
year.
It yet.
We never got to see it.
We should watch that soon.
But yeah, this is acted really well. It's written incredibly well. The payoff is really satisfying. There's just such good themes of politics and society meshed in. I don't want to say too much. Just go see this movie. If I could recommend one movie that we saw this year, as far as horror movies, or even as far as movies concerned, watch this. Don't watch any trailers. Don't watch any summaries, Wikipedia, whatever. Just go in blind and enjoy it. So we both gave it a 5, if it's not obvious. The Lost Boys. Boy, this was a 80s film?
Yeah, I think it was the 80s.
Excuse me.
It was like, 85, 86?
Yeah, this felt 80s as fuck. Oh, The Craft felt 90s as fuck with its soundtrack.
Yeah.
This felt 80s as fuck. The hair, the sonical, the sonic landscape of the film, if you will. It was really well done in that way. I feel like there was some good comedy here too. Kim and I both agree that the grandpa was really funny. This movie had Fred Savage, I want to say, and another person.
It wasn't Fred Savage.
Wasn't Fred Savage? Who was it? Well, talk about the movie while I look it up.
Yeah.
This was your pick, right?
I think it was. I originally I didn't think Lost Boys was about vampires. I thought it was about I can't remember what I thought about.
Corey Feldman, that's what I meant.
But I really like Corey, and I also there's the woman in that movie, the girl. What's her name? Julia Dreyfus? No, she was great too.
Yeah.
But I love the whole plot, but it was kind of slow at first.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a slow start, but once Kiefer Sutherland got there, just oozing with charisma.
He's great.
It's hard to believe that's Kiefer Sutherland. Like, he looks so young. He looks like a different person. Yeah. He hadn't even counted to 20, let alone 24 yet. So, that's crazy. But yeah, it's a great film. I wasn't blown away by it, but I really liked how it ended. I thought, again, the grandfather was really funny. I thought the characters were well done. It reminded me a little bit of, obviously this came after, but Your Mom is Dating a Vampire, or My Mom's Dating, which we watched a couple years ago, right? We did. But similar kind of interrogation vibes of like, is this person a vampire or not? And that mystery actually kept me kind of interested. And it plays with the vampire mythology too, to kind of keep you on your toes. Yeah, I thought it was pretty well done, actually. Yeah. This was probably the biggest surprise of the list for me.
What do we give it?
We both gave it a 4. Bodies.
This is a great movie.
This was good.
It was a good, yeah. Don't spoil it, yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it either.
Great, good. Anyway, they all die at the end. No, I'm kidding. I'm torn on this one. This had a lot of decent social commentary, especially on social media and phone use, and just like it's a good spin on a social deduction game. I'm not like a huge fan of those kind of games myself, but I'm also not like an extroverted person. But overall, I thought it was pretty well acted. There were some really good themes. I don't believe it delivered on all those themes, but I enjoyed the ride nonetheless, and I thought the mystery was compelling, and the reveal was pretty appropriate.
Yeah, I definitely watch it again, but I love that it had all new characters except for Pete Davidson.
Yes.
Who wants to like him? Anyway.
Not even
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande, not even Ariana. I was about to say Selena Gomez, and I was like, I don't think.
No.
But yeah, he's great in this film. It's just an absolute asshole, and just there's a lot of great like murder scenes or death scenes in this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and there's some LGBT rep too, which is great. I mean, basically, it's one of the cornerstones of it. But yeah, I like this film overall.
What did we each give it?
I gave it a 4. You gave it a 4.25.
Wow.
I'm like grasping at anything else to say about it. Anything else you want to say?
I didn't think of anything, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
The next one, my friend Seb will be happy about. It's Trickk R Treat. This is less of a movie and more of like a collection of short stories brought together in a movie format. And it's basically like they're all connected to each other. I liked it. I thought that Sam, the main character, well, not the main character, but the main mascot of the movie, he was a lot of fun. I felt like everything wrapped up in a satisfying way. There's some good effects. Acting is here or there. Some of the people obviously brought their A game and some of them didn't. But there's some good twists, for sure. I liked a lot of the twists more than most anything else in the film.
I liked it too because, like you said, it was like stories.
Right.
You don't usually see that.
Yeah, you don't often get the like entangled stories within a movie. You usually get in like a TV special or something. Yeah. But this felt like 3 TV specials, or maybe 4, put together in one heaping helping of a movie, which was nice.
And I really like Sam. He had a great costume.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love when the head come up. His what was he wearing? Like a bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, when that came off, I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah. There's some slightly scary movies, but I'm not going to say anything here was too scary.
No, it was more. I felt more of it like a comedy too, in a way.
All right, what Kim did not feel like was a comedy. Oh, by the way, I gave it a 4. Kim gave it a 3.75, basically a 4. What Kim did not find funny was Slither.
Oh my god, this movie. I actually almost watched this movie twice because I was with my mom and I wanted her to watch it. And she couldn't take it because it's so boring to her.
Yeah, her mom has terrible taste and takes. Sorry, not sorry.
It's body horror to the max.
Yeah, there's a lot of gross out horror. This is by James Gunn, back when he was a lot more edgy than he is now, which the character growth, you love to see it. But I do think this was a really great film. This was one of the movies Kim and I really disagreed on, mostly because Kim didn't really like
the dogs.
Sure, there's a lot of dogs dying in this movie, mostly off screen, but it's still not great.
Yeah. And I was just grossed out at the end with the woman and stuff.
Yes, there's a lot of gross out moments. The movie's called Slither. It's supposed to gross you out, and it definitely worked for Kim.
I thought it was about snakes, so I'm glad it wasn't.
That's Anaconda, and they don't want none unless you got buns. Huh? But yeah, this was. I had a great time. I thought it was pretty funny. There are some moments, of course, that don't really hold up mid-2000s humor. I think they dropped the R word at some point. But I think it's also the mayor who's an asshole. But anyway, it's a pretty good send-up of like monster films. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, The Blob, those classic kind of creature films, creature features. I really enjoyed it. I thought it has a good payoff. The romance is kind of weak. That aspect of it isn't really that great. But, it's got Nathan Fillion, who's always a gem. Always love seeing him.
What was the woman's name? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember her name. But he's great in it. A lot of the actors are great in this film. Kim just didn't like it because it grossed her the fuck out, which is fair. That's what it was supposed to do. So, mission accomplished. Barbarian was the next film that we watched. We both gave that a 4.25. I was very curious what this film was about. I didn't really know. I had seen or heard about it. Man, this one really comes in clutch in the second half with some very prescient social topics that I did not expect it to tackle. Just very much criticizing Hollywood and the way it handles certain things. I don't want to get too specific, but yeah, I did not expect it to be that prescient. That said, the central horror conceit, I don't want to give too much away. This is another movie where I feel like we probably shouldn't say too much, but the general theme is that a lot of this is tackling capitalism and the housing crisis, how it is to live in Detroit. There's a lot of horror in that. I felt like all the actors and actresses did awesome.
I was sad that Bill Skarsgård wasn't the main character.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård does a great job.
Justin Long was.
Justin Long was instead, and unfortunately some of these characters are not long for this world, so. But yeah, it's a really great film. I recommend it for sure. But yeah, this is another movie you should avoid trailers and avoid summaries and all that. Go in as blind as you can, like we did, and I mean, I think you'll enjoy it. Kim, anything you want to say about it?
It's got a lot of triggering stuff in it. So.
Yeah, for sure. Be mindful of that. It's got a lot of triggering topics, so if you're not in a good headspace, I would, maybe, take a pause on watching this movie for a couple days.
But I thought the makeup was really good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of good design that gets used in this film. There's really good lore. There's really good ambiance. I feel like the first 30 minutes is really tense because you just don't know what's going to happen. If you haven't paid too close attention to trailers and stuff like that, you don't know what's going to happen. So I feel like it really delivers on that very well. And there's some good switcheroos and
switcheroos.
Yeah, well, just with the second half of the film. So
yeah.
But yeah, great film. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the remake. All I could say about this is,
I can be honest, I don't remember it.
It was so boring. It was really badly paced. I read a review on Wikipedia that said this felt more like the director. I'm paraphrasing here. This isn't exactly what it says, but like the director's kind of in love with his own work. It really feels like that. I mean, I'm not saying the movie's terrible. It was okay, but man, it took way too long for anything to get good. When we even got there, I didn't feel like it was amazing or anything. The payoff wasn't even that great. Some of the effects are really cool.
I remember being confused a lot during the film. I don't know. Maybe it's not this one, but
some of the themes are good as well. I feel like they do the political themes a little more overtly than the original. This is pretty much what we voted the original to, I think, if we didn't vote the original even higher. It was a similar rating. At any rate, but it's mostly known for the way it ends with one of the characters pointing like this at another character and like going like ah. So yeah, I don't know. The movie takes itself too seriously. It's too bloated. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about it? Nope. Okay, real quick there. I gave it a 3. Kim gave it a 2.5 or something like that. Let me double check on my numbers here. 2.25. Oof. Another movie that Kim and I were split on was The Lighthouse.
Yeah, I did not like this movie at all.
This was with William Dafoe. Dafoe.
Well,
it's funny. I was watching a video, and he says his family used to say Dafoe or Duffo, but it's actually Dafoe. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
He says it rings nicer too. But anyway, William Dafoe plus what's it from Twilight? I can't remember his name. Why can't I remember his name?
Well, I'm thinking of his name in Twilight.
Yeah, you almost said Edward Cullen.
It's Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, who does an incredible Batman. Kim didn't like this film. She felt like it was too slowly paced. I really appreciated the cinematography. It was boring. I really appreciated how Kim wouldn't interrupt me. That was great too. I loved that part of it. Inappropriate. No, not really. Okay.
Now we're inappropriate.
Steel cage match. Okay, wait a second.
I mean, we're good. Help.
No one take that out of context. Let's start the video over. All right, I'm pressing spot. No. Let's undo 30 minutes of video. All right, The Lighthouse. I really liked the cinematography. I loved the acting and the writing. But I can't argue with Kim that the pacing was a huge issue. It felt like it took too long for anything to happen.
Not to mention it's weird.
It's a very weird film, which is part of why I picked it. A lot of people argue it's not a horror film and it's more of like a psychological thriller. I don't know. The line between a thriller and a horror movie is always pretty thin to me. I felt like this definitely had horrific aspects. Madness and psychosis and loneliness.
I like the monologuing, but that's about it.
The monologue was good.
They delivered really well.
Yeah, lots of masturbation in this film.
Yeah.
It happened like twice, right? 3 times?
Maybe more.
Maybe more. I mean, mermaids, they're looking pretty good. But yeah, this is a weird film. If you like avant-garde shit, you're probably going to enjoy this. If you liked The Witch, I don't know if you'll like this. The Witch was also a bit of a slower movie, but Kim and I felt like it had enough going for it in between those moments that it was still worth like a 4 out of 5. But yeah, I mean, Eggers can be divisive. I liked it. Kim, anything else you want to say?
Nah.
Okay.
What else is there? Oh, Talk to Me. That's one of my favorites.
I let you in. I was so excited to watch Talk to Me. And unfortunately, no, I'm kidding. It was really great.
I thought it was going to be too scary.
I have never seen such a fucking punished main character in my life. She goes through shit. Like, this is bad for her. I don't know. If you don't like movies or fiction where the main character gets shit on, not, figuratively, not literally.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, this ain't the movie for you. She goes through a lot in this film, to put it mildly. Probably a divisive ending, because it's not a happy one either. But I loved it. I thought they took really big swings with the characters, with what happens to them. I thought, as a self-contained piece, it was really good. If they decide to make a sequel, sure. But I really don't think it needs one, per se. I feel like the ending is perfect. It speaks a lot. It's set in Australia, which I think is really interesting. You get an idea of their kind of culture, especially for the youth. Just generally, I was really pleased with, like, the actors. Wasn't pleased so much with a scene that involves a dog. That was really gross.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I really enjoyed this movie, and I just loved how this hand come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then they could do these things with the afterlife. It's just so cool. But you see this kind of stuff all the time, but they did it really well.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for one of the main characters. So,
yeah.
Boy. But yeah, it was...
Yeah, there's some hard to watch stuff in this film for sure. One of the scenes very reminiscent of the scene in Hereditary, where the son bashes his head against the desk. That's become a big thing in that was in Cam, that was in Hereditary. It's in this film. People bashing their head up against stuff. It never stops being disturbing. Obviously.
What happened in Barbarian too?
What
happened in Barbarian too?
Yeah, Barbarian as well. Although that was less like from the self and more from. Well, anyway. Spoilers, Kim.
Oh, no.
But yeah, Talk to Me was really good. We both really liked it. We both gave it a 4.25. I had a great time with it. Would recommend it. But yeah, again, if you like happy endings, you like... I don't know what you're doing watching horror movies, but if you like happier films, or at least horror movies that are nicer to their main characters, protagonists, you should look elsewhere.
Yeah.
This film does not pull any punches. It is not trying to actively franchise itself. And again, that little bit of Australian culture I felt like really helped give it more of a distinct flavor than other possession films. So, all right, here's a few extra films that we watched throughout the year just because they came out and we really wanted to go see them. We watched Abigail, the one with the little girl who's a vampire who is, sorry, spoilers, although it's pretty much given away in the trailer, is like a ballerina.
We saw this in the drive-thru.
Yeah, we saw this at the drive-in. It was great. It felt like a classic horror film. I really liked it as a popcorn film. I wouldn't say it says anything super deep. I mean, it's trying to say stuff about parenting and being there for your kid and various other things, but I don't really feel like it nails it in any particular way. But it's fine. It doesn't do it badly either.
Yeah.
the blood's really good. The action scenes are great. The actors are great. So it's a solid film, but, don't go in expecting, a really scary time or anything. But I think get some friends together, get some popcorn. I think you'll have a good time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I loved how it reminded me of American Horror... What is it? American?
Yeah, American Horror Story.
No, a different one.
Oh.
It's a movie. But they're all trapped. They're not trapped, but yeah, technically.
Yeah, they're trapped. Yeah, the whole movie is them trying to get out of there.
Yeah, this movie I'm talking about is the same thing, but it's ghosts and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that was Abigail. The second movie we watched was Maxxxine.
Ooh, I love this movie.
This was a really great film.
That's the sequel to Pearl, right?
It's the third film in the trilogy.
God, this trilogy is so good.
Yeah, every film has been great, or if not better than great. I think Pearl's still the best, probably, mostly because of that last 10 minutes. I think it's just exquisite in terms of the monologue. It's okay, I've yawned like twice. We're almost done. But yeah, I mean, this had cool callbacks to older horror films. It's got great action scenes. I did feel like the ending, which I won't spoil, tries to have its cake and eat it too. It felt kind of confusing why it was happening like this and like why it happened. Like the writing wasn't super good in the last like 5 minutes, but it's not a huge deal. Overall, I thought, this film was worth the main actress of the movie punching one of the people backstage. I feel like that really made it feel like it was worth it to me. That's sarcasm, by the way, if nobody picked up on that. Fucked up. Anyway, but still a great film. And, I liked it. Anything you remember from the film? I know it was a while ago. So.
I can't really remember much.
Yeah, that's fine. We watched Maxxxine not long after it first came out, so quite a few months ago now. Last film I want to talk about, another film that split Kim and I, is Longlegs. This was the one with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that was Nicolas Cage.
It was a noir kind of murder mystery horror joint. Very indie.
I liked this movie, didn't I?
You thought it was good, but you thought... I remember you saying that it was confusing.
Yeah.
And what else?
Weird.
Very weird and confusing. Sums up Nicolas Cage. Honestly, if he ever gets something on his tombstone, may he live forever. Weird and confusing would definitely be one of the nominations. Kim, I can't believe you're yawning. Canceled right now.
I did a lot today.
Yeah. She put up with me. That's a day's work all of itself. I love this movie. I thought Nicolas Cage was sensational. I thought he made such a creepy character. I love the teenager in the hardware store who treats him like he ain't shit. Like he's just a weird creepo. And like anytime he ever tries to get near her, she just calls for her dad who's always nearby. I love that. The right thing to do. Look, I'm a sucker for noir. I'm a sucker for Nick Cage. I love a good horror movie. This has all of that. This felt like Alan Wake in a movie. Not exactly the same, but definitely similar vibes. I know for Kim, wasn't as big of a hit for her, but I loved it.
But I do love Nicolas Cage.
Yes, and it's not like she hated it, but yeah. All right, let's talk about our top three, which should probably be pretty obvious. Oh, I gave it a 4.5. Kim gave it a 3.5. My number one is The Menu, so is Kim's. My number two is Addam's Family Values, whereas my number three is Evil Dead 2, and Kim, your number three is...
Barbarian,
right. I could have had plenty of films in that third slot. I just picked Evil Dead 2 because it's got some good funny moments and it's a classic. All right, so last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about our list for next year and what order we're going to do it in.
Yeah, we went to a diner and figured out a list there. Well, we already had it figured out, but we always love to go to this diner. We've been doing this like 3 years now, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years, yeah. All right, so I'm going to just say the order that we're going to do it. So we watched Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island last year. I really wanted to watch the Season of the Witch or Witch's Ghost. I keep thinking it's Season of the Witch, but that's Halloween 3, which was a bad movie.
It's also a Nicolas Cage movie, Season of the Witch.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
And then, so after Season of the Witch, do you want to read the next one?
Yeah. Buffy. The 1992 one.
Yeah.
I love this show. I know it's not the series. The series is so great too. But This one, I've always watched when I was younger. I was allowed to, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dory doesn't know about it, but...
I haven't seen it. And then I picked The Omen.
I picked Orphan.
I picked The Wailing. I also picked Ringu, which is the Japanese version of The Ring.
I picked Hollow Man and Double Blind and Identity.
I picked Wreck, which is the found footage film. Kim.
I picked Don't Breathe.
I picked The Descent. A lot of the movies here, so kind of I informally title it in my head, the list. I saw the TV Glow, which I also noticed from this year.
Arachnophobia.
And Green Room. So that's going to be our list for next year.
What's our leftovers for next year?
Our leftovers are Audition, Silence of the Lambs, Bats, Chucky, the original, and Evil Dead 3. So that's going to do it for us this year.
Toodaloo.
Why? You never say this word at any other point during the year. And it's like as soon as I start to get ready.
I was thinking about this.
You were thinking about the whole...
No, I wasn't the whole time, but for the past few days, I can't wait to do this.
Wait, the past 2 days you've been waiting to do this one fucking in-joke? This is what I gotta fucking deal with. Alright, Godspeed. Good luck to everybody. I'm saying that totally, definitely for no political reason at all. And I will see you back next year with Kim. I mean, hopefully, if I don't...
Since you took too long, I'm going to say it again. Toodaloo.
Fuck you.